Well, here's a curveball we didn't expect before our Christmas party.
So even though we're doing long distance, Clay and I are doing our best to make some holiday memories together. It's hard, but we're making it work. I'll come back on a day off and we'll have a Halloween party, or I'll come back and we'll decorate the tree or make cookies or something. So we decided on one of my days off, I'd go back to the city and we'd have a Christmas party, invite our friends and hosts to be the first time hosting a big party in our new apartment. We were so excited. We're being the operative word.
All right, let's clarify. A big party, we invited like 25 people. So this apartment is not big enough for a big party. But for a New York apartment, sure. Let's continue.
We were all really excited about the party, and unfortunately a couple days before the party, a couple Broadway shows had to postpone their performances due to some COVID outbreaks.
Broadway shows are shutting down only for a night or two, and all of our friends that we invited are fully vaccinated. So we feel pretty confident that we're being as safe as we can.
But Clay was like, maybe we should have everyone at the party, test for COVID just to be safe. And I was like, it's kind of an inconvenience, it's last minute, And as we talked about it, Clay urged me, and I was like, you're so right, Clay. It's the right thing to do. I'm crossing the street.
And I was fully like, yes, it's inconvenient to have to get a COVID test. And it felt like we're like not trusting our friends because we know they're vaccinated. We know that our friends are being safe. So it kind of felt like, again, we don't trust our friends. We're asking them like, hey, do you mind getting a COVID test? But I was like, yeah, but is it more inconvenient to get one COVID test or to have to make everyone quarantine for 10 days because of getting COVID? And let me tell you, it's more convenient to get one little COVID test than to quarantine for 10 days.
So we go through everyone who RSVPs to the party and we say, please get tested before you come. And honestly, a lot of people were unable to. They were like, I can't do that with my work schedule, or I'm just not gonna have time. Thanks for the invite, or I can't mess with that right now. Sorry, I'm too busy. No one outwardly was refusing to get tested. It just didn't work for a lot of people since it was last minute.
And our party size definitely went down like 5 people. But I was fully like, honestly, if they are unable to get tested, maybe it's for the best. It's a few less people to be in our small apartment. So maybe it's for the best.
But everyone who was coming to the party said they were gonna get tested. So day of the party, we're all super excited. Clay and I are running around like madmen. We're decorating, baking, cooking, doing all the things, getting ready for the party. And I also have to run around town to get some things done. It's my day off. I gotta get stuff done.
We both had a million errands to run. We were barely seeing each other all day because we were both running around. And I was starting rehearsal for a show the following day, and I already had to get tested for that show to start rehearsal. So I was like, okay, well, I might as well go to that testing site and get tested for my rehearsal tomorrow, as well as getting tested for the party.
So I'm checking things off the list and finally I get to go get tested. So I get tested, a little nasal swab, no big deal. Clay does the same.
So I get home from the test and I'm for sure in the clear. I don't have any symptoms. I'm feeling good. Let's have this party. And then 30 minutes go by and I get a phone call from our COVID manager, and she was like, hey, I need you to go back to that same location and just retest again. No, it's no worries, but we just need you to get retested again. So in my head, I'm like, maybe my test came back inconclusive, and so they're needing me to retest again. But she didn't seem too concerned on the phone, so I was like, I don't have anything to worry about. Then I get a text from her, seconds after we hung up, and she was like, hey, just so you know, you tested positive, and that's why we need you to retest again.
We're like, positive? How could that be? I mean, he's just been in my hotel in Providence where I was performing last week. We've been together in the city on my day off. We don't go to parties. We don't go to clubs, anything like that, or even bars at this point. We're laying low, and when we are out and about, we have masks on, indoors. Outdoors, like right now, mask free.
So we're both just assuming it's a false positive. And we're like, we've both been smart. There's no way that I tested positive. And it's actually COVID. It was a mistake.
But to be safe, we put on masks. He gets ready to go and he heads out to get a second test. I keep getting things done.
So I go and I get the second test, and we're both feeling a little uneasy. We're wearing masks around the apartment, but we're still getting ready, assuming that it was a false positive, but again, still wearing masks just in case. And then it took an hour before I got the results the next time.
The longest hour of our life goes by.
And finally, I hear back from the COVID managers, and I tested positive twice in a row.
Clay got COVID. He's been double vaccinated, boosted, laying low, wearing a mask when he's at the gym. We don't get it.
Well, I did get it, but yeah.
So this is about a week ago, before we knew all of the things we know now about Omicron and how, quickly it spreads. But holy crap, we were sitting there less than 2 hours away from the start of our party.
And we were getting texts throughout the day of like pictures of negative COVID tests, screenshots of negative results, pictures of like baked goods that people made, like a homemade treats. I felt terrible.
Some of our guests already on the way to help set up early, and holy cow, we had to all of a sudden text every single person, and we were honest with them. We said, hey, we're glad we tested everyone. Clay tested positive for COVID. Thankfully, my test results came back and I was negative.
I am so glad we asked people to get tested. I am so glad that Chris didn't catch it and that we caught it before having this party.
And we were disappointed, of course, to not be able to spend time with our, our close friends over the holidays and just kind of toast to the holidays. But the most important thing we have is our health. And thankfully, Clay is doing great. He's asymptomatic still. He's wrapping up his quarantine, and he'll be wrapped up in time for Christmas, which is great, which means I should be able to see him on Christmas Eve if I stay healthy. But gosh, it's just been such a blessing that we found out in time. I tested multiple times before I returned to work. I'm in Buffalo right now, and we just can't implore you enough to please get tested before you go home for the holidays. This is not a lecture, but it's just an example that Clay, who was asymptomatic, who had no symptoms, that he was even slightly sick, tested positive. We could have transmitted it to everyone at our party, and they would have gone home to see their families for Christmas. And that weight on our shoulders, if anybody had a really sick relative or got sick themselves, it would have been such a heavy burden to bear.
And I know that this panorama has not been easy on anybody, but the only way that we're gonna get out of it is if we do it together.
So please get tested, also get vaccinated, mask up when you're in big event spaces or indoors, and just try to stay safe.
Like Chris said, get vaccinated, wear a mask, get boosted if you're already vaccinated, and have a very, very safe and happy holidays.
The sun's coming out, maybe that's a sign of, brighter days ahead. But please have a safe and happy holiday season, and subscribe. We'll see you real soon.
Thanks for watching.